what was your first break, Gary? Like the one where you like in screenwriting where you thought like, oh, I'm doing this now.
So I wrote about 6 or 7 scripts that I never showed anyone because they were terrible. And, but there was some progression. Each one was slightly less terrible than the last. And I eventually had one. I thought, okay, maybe this one I wouldn't be embarrassed to show someone. And again, there's no formal way in, right? Like there's not, and so, but I was able to find a list of, not agencies, because agencies just won't, they'll send it back to you unopened. They don't, you send like a script to CA, they're not going to look at it. But I found a list of companies, like management companies, that did accept unsolicited material, and sent them out to a bunch of places. And I got a call one Sunday afternoon from a guy who said, I just read your script and I'm only halfway through, but I already know I want to represent you. And that was how I got started.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. And that would have been back in like 2000. What would that have been? Yeah, like 2003, 2003-ish.
Yeah. And what was your first produced?
That would be Eli.
Oh, it was the Book of Eli. Oh my God,
wasn't the first thing I sold. It wasn't the script that got me in, because I remember the script that got me management was like this weird kind of science fiction retelling, like kind of adaptation of Oliver Twist. It was like post-apocalyptic steampunk Oliver Twist. It was very weird, and the manager could identify that they liked the writing, but they were like, but we can't sell this piece, like no one's going to make this movie. We eventually did get it made as a comic book, but we never made it as a movie. And so the first question, of course, is like, what else you got, right? And you've got to have an answer to that question. You got to have like 10 other things. And I started pitching them ideas, a bunch of ideas for other things I wanted to write, until they eventually said, oh, we could sell that, you should write that. And I went and wrote that, and that was the first thing that I did sell, but that didn't get made. And then in the back of my mind, I had this idea for this kind of Zatoichi kind of samurai apocalyptic thing I wanted to write. And I remember thinking like, oh, but if I pitch them this, they're going to tell me they can't sell it. It's not marketable. So I just kind of went away and wrote it in secret. I knew that if I pitched it to them, they would talk me down off the ledge, but I really wanted to write it. So I just went away and just kind of wrote it very, very quickly, and just turned it into them like the first they knew I was writing is when I turned in the finished draft, and they were like, oh, and even they were like, yeah, I don't know if we can sell this. It's like religious and violent, and this guy's like chopping people's heads off, but we'll try. And they put it out there, and we got it. Joel Silver liked it, and eventually got made at Warner Brothers with Denzel Washington.
Yeah, I know.
That was what kicked the door down for me.